We just had Gamescom 2025, and we're here to give you the cliff notes on some games we thought really stood out. First up is Fellowship. It's WoW without WoW. Then Harrowlands. It's RimWorld with magic. Next up is Time Takers. It's a new take on the arena brawler where time is your most important resource. Then we have Absalom, a new side-scrolling co-op beat-em-up. After that, we have Outlaws, a remake of a little-known LucasArts remaster. Then we have WoW with WoW in World of Warcraft's new expansion, Midnight.
Hi, I'm Nick, and Big Video Game doesn't want you to know this, but you can just take Nintendo games down at the park. I have 137 Star Foxes at home.
Hi, I'm Josh, and we have Tennis Mario and Dr. Mario. Where's Lawyer Mario?
And I'm Andy. This is Video Game Tango. Hey, everybody, welcome back.
Oh, yes.
We got Gamescom this week, and other games, and comms.
I believe 7 games for you. From us.
Yes, I believe it's 7 games.
Roughly 7.
I believe it's 7 games. I got so many tabs open. I don't know how many games it is, but yeah, we've got.
Things have happened.
500 video games.
We took a look at some upcoming releases and especially stuff coming from Gamescom, and we narrowed it down to a list because if you look at opening night live and you look at the what followed up the other show that came the next day, there's like 5 hours worth of trailers happening. Yeah. So lots and lots of stuff to show at Gamescom. Even World of Warcraft, because there's been no BlizzCon for a little bit. They've started announcing their stuff. They've always had a presence at Gamescom, but they did an actual expansion announcement at Gamescom this time. So we will be talking about that. I'll save that for the end of the podcast because I know WoW isn't for everybody, but for those of you that do enjoy it, I mean, WoW is just an endless well of content. Some might call it a well of eternity.
Wow. Oh, wow.
so I'll go ahead and start. Speaking of WoW, got a little game called Fellowship here. Now, you ever wondered what it would be like to play WoW, except it's only dungeons and it's like queuing up with your buddies or just
Only dungeons.
only dungeons. That's what this game is.
Yes.
It plays like exactly like WoW. It's your abilities on hotbars, and it doesn't look like they do any kind of targeting. So I don't think there are any necessarily targeted attacks. I think it is more skill shot based. Which if you're into WoW, there's been a lot more of that stuff. Actually, no, they have they're targeted right there. Okay, so yeah, it does look like they do targeting. So it literally looks like WoW. I mean, you're looking at even damage meters. Everybody has seen the classic damage meters.
Graphical user interface just looks like the mods we used to use.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean they might even have something like Deadly Boss Mod. Because it looks like they tell you of incoming like big abilities and stuff. So we're down to the enemy health bars in the upper right hand corner below the map. Yeah, the action your action bar UI being in the middle of the screen, your chat being at the bottom left, and then your damage, your DPS meters, and your healing done being movable, because I've seen it on the left and right side of the screen. It's WoW, people. Like,
to the level where like I'm mildly concerned for them for copyright issues.
I know. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is WoW with a few more polygons, like straight up. So yeah, it's WoW, only dungeons, and I really want to play this. I think that when it's so streamlined and focused into one aspect of the MMO genre and plays just like it, I think that's a really cool concept. And I don't know how maybe it's been done before, but I have never seen it.
I mean, there's games that are similar to WoW, but like this one, like if they could legally get away with it, the tagline should just be, did you ever want to try WoW, but you didn't want to play WoW?
Yeah.
Because if you cut out all the other chaff, you play WoW as a PvE player to do dungeons and raids. That's the whole point of playing. Right?
I don't remember what this thing is called, but look at this. Look at this. That's straight out of the Burning Legion or the Burning Crusade expansion. Like
big old purple column thing.
Yeah. I mean, this is It's kind of crazy. I'm actually looking at these dungeons and I'm like, okay, so this is just like that dungeon from BFA. This is that dungeon from, well, that's also from BFA. Yeah, I'm looking at these and dude, look at the statues here. Look at the statues. I'm sorry, audio only listeners, but these statues.
Stormwind ass statues.
Well, they look exactly like the ones protecting the fucking dark portal.
Oh,
like,
yeah, even more so, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, insane. Like, I'm even looking at where they have buffs and debuffs. They're in the exact same spot. This is World of Warcraft, but not MMO. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is really cool. There's a Lich King and Kel'Thuzad. So I'm really looking forward to this. This looks like WoW Light. This is the kind of thing that if you've been trying to drag your friends into WoW for a long time, they might actually pick this one up. So I'm looking forward to Fellowship. It looks just like World of Warcraft combat. Everybody knows what that looks like at this point, so I won't go any further. But it looks like a blast, man. I'm looking forward to Fellowship coming out.
Yeah, as long as no one says the word Azeroth and Acropolis doesn't go gur-gur or
Yeah,
gar-gar, they should be all right.
They even have practice dummies, brother.
I mean, yeah, it's
this is a World of Warcraft
Keep
ripoff.
their feet near the earth.
yeah, like yeah. Whew.
Smoketar Yorgar. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's it's fantastic.
Oh, we're in a mood tonight.
We sure are. We have fun.
All right. We can keep the maybe legality things rolling to a lesser degree. I recently came across a little narrow post on Reddit linking to a tidy YouTube channel with pretty much zero information about it. But a game called Harrowlands caught my eye. Specifically because this is a game that is attempting to be a Dwarf Fortress-like or a RimWorld-like, however you want to look at that, a storytelling engine, right? However, this one is built from the ground up to be set in a kind of dark medieval setting with magic inherent to the system. Magic has been slowly kind of teased and maybe going to be a thing in Dwarf Fortress, but that game's been out for 900 years. And RimWorld has magic, but only through mods, and some of them are really not great. So it's very interesting to see like an actual fantasy take. I mean, there's Norland, I think, and a couple other that are set in a medieval setting. But yeah, this is definitely fantasy. From the Reddit post I found when asked to describe this game and what it does differently from RimWorld and things, the creator, Harrowlands, says, a quick rundown. Personal journeys and emergent stories. Each villager has unique traits and magical abilities, like spells like Frenzy or Haste, or abilities like Glitch Touch, where they can turn the items into silver. It is set in a medieval fantasy. Think knights, inquisitors, court mages, powerful monsters roaming the land. Game mechanics to deal with feudal politics, defending against threats and armies, navigating the intrigues of a hostile world. There is base building like RimWorld. Beyond constructing your settlement and managing it, the game is going to have mechanics for sending out villagers on quests or adventures, trading, or in exploring and venturing into the untamed wilderness to battle formidable monsters. So that's there's kind of those elements in RimWorld, kind of those elements in Dwarf Fortress, but they are kind of secondary to how the main game works. So interesting to see. You start with a fresh cast of characters. It looks like they have different starting scenarios. And this is by Bashful Wolf Studios, which if you Google that, you pretty much just get Harrowlands. It's their only game. They say we, so I assume there's more than one developer, or at least maybe the developer and artist. But it's clearly a indie product. The art could use a little bit of work, but I like what I'm seeing so far of it. Yeah. And seeing that they're actually playing it and there's people doing stuff, it's good. It's a good sign. So I will keep my eye on this one and see what it looks like by the time it comes out.
The art, it reminds me very much of Necess early. Like they've completely changed their art style. Like
Necess had their major art overhaul. But yeah, this release date on Steam just says 2026. So it's clearly got a ways. Games like this, you have to simulate so much.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while. But yeah, intriguing.
I do like the setup of it. I love a good storytelling game because when I'm playing it, no one's going to call me a slur on it. So it's a fun thing to play by myself to unwind. So yeah, that looks really cool. That looks really cool. I do love me some RimWorld.
Yes, I get to listen to you guys talk about RimWorld a lot.
Yeah,
I can't complain. I just talk about World of
It
Warcraft.
gives us some
and
moodlet bonus.
DayZ, so.
you know.
Yeah. Josh, you have another game for us.
I do. And in the 80s, this band called Styx released a song called Too Much Time on My Hands. And inspiration of that, which has almost nothing to do with what I'm talking about here, is called Time Takers. Now, guys, this game...
What a stretch.
Yeah.
Long walk for a short drink of water. Now, Time Takers is a third-person team-based shooter oh my God, nothing new there, but where time is your lifeline. So time is your resource. So you drop in with X amount of time. Let's call it 3 minutes. Now, instead of a bubble closing on you in this a battler style game, time is the very resource you're trying to collect. You know what your abilities cost? Time. Do you know what you get from other players when you kill them? Time. If you want to upgrade your weapon, well, you got to spend a little time. It just it's an interesting concept because they're not doing anything new with an arena extraction battler, whatever, how many ever adjectives you want to add on to it. They're not doing anything new. It's a kind of an interesting concept with the neon colors and a monkey in a spacesuit and an old-timey knight, and it looks like edgelord Jar Jar Binks in the background. If you see it, he's a secret character. But yeah, like it. So like all of the randomness, it jumps out at you like a little Overwatchy, right? You know, you see a chimpanzee in a spacesuit, you think Winston. So there are some Overwatch things about it. Now it is going to be free to play, so that means they are going to be relying, of course, heavily on microtransactions. That is the bread and butter of the arena battle game, though. So in the time we live in, yes, but time is going to be energy. It's for survival. It's a growth currency. So you're going to be able to build freely through your choice of weapons and passive abilities, all again using time, the most valuable resource in the game. So what they are doing with that does seem interesting. And as long as there's not a microtransaction that you start with more time than everyone else at the beginning of the game, it shouldn't be too egregious. So, I mean, it again depends. It depends on how much does the battle pass cost? How much do skins cost? How much, how bad is the pay to win microtransaction strategy there? So, interesting concept, fun colors, exciting. Let's give it a look.
It checks all the boxes.
Yeah, you know, like, I mean, am I leery of it? You betcha.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you betcha. Concord. I mean, the secret level show cartoon or the secret level episode was way more interesting than any of the gameplay was. So, you know, these games, a lot of them come out, a lot of them miss.
Yeah.
The player base is already divided up. So we'll see. There's always something, you know, maybe it is that Overwatch that's going to catch fire again. Who knows?
Kind of bizarre. Time Takers is being published by NC Soft, which we all know and love, Korean, I believe, publisher. The developer, Misto Games, has 2 employees, according to LinkedIn.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not very many.
Yeah. So it's bizarre.
That is bizarre, but also
could just be their LinkedIn page isn't updated.
Sure, yeah.
'Cause they clearly have more than 2 employees.
They have to. I mean, honestly, the models look very UE5 kind of
It's trying to
thrown together. To be quite honest, to me, like they just scream UE5 asset. So it wouldn't be crazy to be 2 people.
Looks like they had a previous game called Gray.
Oh, yeah, I remember Gray.
Gray.
Yeah. It was rough. Yeah. I never saw.
I mean, the cover art looks massively AI. So
yeah, I don't even know if it was like it. Anyways, yeah. You messed me up so bad. I know it wasn't intentional, but when you started talking about sticks, I was like, I was like, wait. Did he not mention that he was going to talk about Sticks, Blades of Greed, that was announced at Gamescom?
Different game.
So I literally brought up the
You're like,
trailer.
okay.
I was like, oh no, I'm like real quick.
Find
so
it.
yeah, I was like, oh god, I gotta find this real quick. So I was about to show the Sticks, Blades of Greed trailer.
That honestly just came to me. I was like, oh, a random thought entered my brain, and I talked about it. I apologize to everyone involved.
I got too much time on my hands. Hey, got another game. I want to talk very briefly because there isn't a whole lot to say other than Wild Blue is basically a concept of, hey, I haven't had a good Star Fox game in a long time where I play an animal inside a spaceship and I shoot stuff. So I'm going to make Star Fox a game where I jump into a spaceship and I shoot stuff.
Yeah. When you see the trailer, if you haven't already, you're going to know exactly what he means. It's like, they just made Star Fox.
It's Star Fox.
Legitimate.
It's like the second brigade of Star Fox. Like, it's
B Squad.
The B Squad for Star Fox. It's humanoid animals flying around in R-wings, effectively. They look almost identical to the ones of old, and even the crosshair is the same. It but
It's a little plussed up.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's like full cell shaded, like unabashedly cell shaded. But yeah, even your comms, you have like little animated dudes talking and text coming out. It's Star Fox.
Yeah.
It is like unafraid of being Star Fox. So it's funny. I've pulled 2 games that are likely to be taken down due to copyright issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, there isn't a whole lot more to say about it. It is straight up a Star Fox ripoff.
Yeah.
It does look like they will have arena style levels. It looks like Star Fox 64, but new.
I almost wonder if these devs were like, after the Power World debacle, it is so scary for a big publisher like Nintendo to have people make games like theirs. Because the problem is that the moment someone makes a game like yours, you have to defend your IP in court. And there's a chance, especially in video games where a lot of these like mechanics can't be copyrighted, whatnot, where you don't win.
Yeah.
And if you don't win, then your IP doesn't get to hold up on its own anymore. And I wonder, because Power World didn't do amazing and all this lawsuit stuff, but they survived it, and they had to make some changes, but they didn't make a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this dev is like, how far can we push Nintendo?
No,
Right? Like, because if they can do that to Pokemon, imagine what we can do to Star Fox.
Power World
or
set
Metroid.
precedents.
Yeah.
100%.
I wonder if they had the chutzpah to make this game just being like, well, Power
Come at
World
me,
did
bro.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
I mean, because those guys 100% got a letter that said, "It's a lawsuit."
I was thinking about that. It's like, it's so near identical to Star Fox.
There is no difference.
Yeah.
There is no difference other than it's a cell shaded take on Star Fox.
It might be legally enough different, right? The characters aren't named the same. They're not the same animals.
Well, and it's not. Yeah, it's not a fox.
It's set in a different world. The enemies aren't identical. So who knows what a court would say?
Yeah,
but
Falco is now a bull. So you know what I mean?
It's like, is it because you only have to make it like 30% different or something?
This is up to interpretation because it's art. You know.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, that is probably exactly what's happening.
Interesting.
Nintendo has precedent set against them. Interesting. Well, Nick, you have another game for us to talk about.
I do. This one's exciting. Coming from Dotemu, which some of you might immediately be familiar with. These are the people who recently made the new Ninja Gaiden that Andy was gushing about a couple weeks ago. They made the Metal Slug Tactics. They made, the new Streets of Rage game?
Yep.
And they're a publisher of a bunch of other stuff. They're coming out with a game called Absolem. Looks like their potentially first foray into their own IP. And it is very much Golden Axe or Streets of Rage, but in their own new fantasy IP setting with this kind of like Chronicles of Mystara kind of dark fantasy feel to it, but done in a cel-shaded comic book style. And the gameplay just looks like a hoot. Just reading through a post on Reddit and the comments on YouTube about the trailer, some people are putting 25 hours into this demo that was on Steam Next Fest. One guy has a screenshot of him playing it for 40 hours.
Wow.
Which is impressive. I mean, that might just be one person, but if someone out there, multiple people are playing 20 plus hours in a demo that's probably maybe an hour long, if I had to guess.
I don't know. Ragebound was pretty long.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Still, people are saying, this is the game they're looking forward to this year. And it looks great. If you were to pause any frame, it looks like it's straight out of a comic book. They have the mountain riding like you had in Golden Axe. Special abilities, animation canceling for your dodge rolls and your parries and that kind of stuff. And it has some light rogue-like elements in it. Some people were complaining about on Reddit saying, I wish they didn't have them in there. And then there was a slew of comments saying, don't worry about it. It's not the kind of rogue-like elements you're thinking. It doesn't detract from the game at all. And yeah, it just looks neat. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like the game mechanics are already tight. And this dev has a lot of experience with games like this. So if you are into these kind of side-scrolly action brawlers, aka Castle Crashers, or like I said, Golden Axe, or Streets of Rage, or Double Dragon, this will probably be up your alley.
Or they did Shredder's Revenge too, right? Or did they just publish
Shredder's
that?
Revenge.
Yeah,
they are a developer and a publisher,
Yeah.
so I can't confirm. I
Sure.
would imagine they probably also developed it. But
They've got magic sauce here, man. Like Ragebound felt game changing. Like there were so many unique elements to it that I was really surprised by, and even elements that were the same as other games, because obviously there's going to be some overlap. Felt new and interesting because they were done in a way that was catered to the game. It didn't feel samesies. It all felt very fresh, despite some recycling of mechanics from other games in the genre. So that's really cool, man.
I unfortunately can't immediately confirm. I don't see it on their Steam page or comments. It very likely is going to have up to 4-player co-op. It for sure has 2. And if you play it solo, the other character actually gets taken over by an AI and fights with you, which is kind of cool.
Dope.
Honestly, the title screen had 2 more characters standing there.
There are 4 in total.
I mean, they are telegraphing 4-player co-op pretty hard.
It still may be just 2-player, and you have a choice of characters. Right?
Yeah, true.
But so it's unconfirmed yet. But I mean, 4 players would be also awesome.
Yeah, that'd be way cool.
Super dope. Well, we've got one more from you, Josh.
Yeah. Now, guys, I do enjoy a remaster here and there, but I've been saying for a while that if we're remastering things, we need to be digging deeper than games 4 years ago and doing it 6 times. So they're doing just that. Now, there's a lovely game from LucasArts called Outlaws. Not Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
Outlaws is a quirky 90s Wild West first-person shooter that you probably never heard of, that you almost certainly haven't played. So it is exciting to see it getting some love. Now, around this time frame, guys, GoldenEye was coming out, right? So the first-person genre was taking off and in a certain direction. Now, this has some of those elements, right? I mean, there's going to be some of that first-person shooter stuff. But what it also has are beautiful hand-drawn cutscenes and a riveting, heart-wrenching Old West story where you play as Abe Lincoln's brother. I assume, you look, vague Lincoln. But yeah, it's a first-person cowboy shooter. It seems very cool, and I'm here for it. So it's gonna have, it has that I don't know, the definitely old school 90s style look to it still. There's going to be some updating. Plus, there's a handful of missions, so that's already happened. But it looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah.
It does look cool. I mean, I'm a sucker for the LucasArts games. Like, they were all fucking awesome. And this is one that I'd never heard of. But like you said, this is around the age of GoldenEye, right? This is so like we were just starting to get into kind of the more realistic shooters that would then take off in the early 2000s. This came out in 1997. That was
came out too late.
Yeah, and not only that, but it was at the like tail end of the reign of PC games, especially LucasArts ones, because there was a big console reign for a little while when consoles started to become more powerful than the PC
era 64. You're competing with all that.
It even used its own engine called Jedi.
Really,
the Jedi engine.
I'm actually surprised because it looks very Quake 2-ish.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of surprising, but yeah, looks rad.
It's kind of just like a perfect candidate for an update or for a little remaster. So I'm very excited.
Nick mentioned it earlier. It's like this game was like pre WASD, and these games are like sometimes really difficult to control because the controls were of their time. Yeah. So that's the kind of remake that I'm like totally for. Just so you can play a game that already exists. I think
game
that's
preservation. Cough.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, now's the time we talk about World of Warcraft for about 10 minutes.
Ooh.
So 15 maybe. So they showed the opening cinematic for Midnight. As far as I'm concerned, it was good. It's not my favorite of the cinematics that have ever been put out for an expansion. But it did show Blood Elves for the first time since Burning Crusade in a cinematic, which I appreciate because I main Blood Elf Paladin. It was also focused on Paladins. It was also focused on Silvermoon City, which hasn't gotten any love for ages. Basically since they put it there. In fact, it's one of the very few places in Azeroth that you can't fly still. It hasn't been updated for flight. Flight came out in the second expansion. There's even new flying. So I'm really glad that they're touching that up. But let's get into the nitty gritty. I have a full doc here of what the changes are coming in, and I need to find that doc. But it's quite a lot. I mean, and it's an expansion level of new content, but some stuff that people have been asking for a very, very long time. So Midnight comes with a new level cap raised to 90. The expansion is set in a completely redesigned Kel'Thalos, beginning with a void attack on the Sunwell.
Wait, 90?
What's that? Yeah, level 90. So they brought the leveling after level 120, they brought it back down to 60 when Dragonflight or when Shadowlands came out.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So no problem.
I was just confused.
We're the only people that are listening right now are the World of Warcraft nerds. They're cool. They're all right with it. So level cap is now 90. So we're not getting any weird 5-level level cap like we did with Cataclysm. The expansion is set in a completely redesigned Kel'Thalos, beginning with a void attack on the Sunwell. There's going to be several new zones at launch. One is Eversong Woods. It's a fully redesigned starting zone, healed from the Scourge's damage, threatened by the void, a magical light bloom overgrowth, Amani trolls, and cultists. So along with kind of fixing the Ghostlands and making Kel'Thalos like Eversong Woods more fleshed out, you're going to be able to fly there as well. They redid Zul'Aman, so Zul'Aman's been affected by this void incursion. The raid is expanded into a full zone with ancient forests, mountains, and troll temples. They introduced the Herandar is the fungal jungle. That's fun to say. Homeland of the Heraneer. We'll get back to them here in a second. Featuring completely natural landscape with bioluminescent wildlife and massive world tree roots. We've actually seen this race in The War Within. They helped you in the second zone that I'm forgetting right off the top of my head. But they've been around, so they are now an allied race. You will be able to choose them as either the Alliance or the Horde. So there is a new race coming. Then there is another zone, Void Storm. It's a chaotic, distant planet drenched in void energy, featuring storm fields, low gravity areas, and dangerous consuming creatures. we're not even close to being done, folks.
Sounds very wet.
Quite wet. So there's a new gameplay system. This goes hand in hand with the housing. We've talked about the housing previously, which we'll talk about again here shortly. But player housing is being introduced for Midnight. That makes a lot of people worried about what happens to the world, as it were. Once you're done leveling, why would you be out in the open world? Why wouldn't you just be standing in the middle of the major city, the capital of the expansion, and queuing dungeons? Well, they came out with a system called the Prey system. It's an opt-in, zone-wide hunting system with 3 difficulty tiers: normal, hard, and nightmare. Hard mode introduces torments, and nightmare mode makes the entire zone more challenging. If you have Prey active, not only does it instance differently, so you're going to have a more additional challenges in the zone. Everything is more challenging, and you get additional rewards because of it. What they're saying right now, this is subject to change, but what they're saying right now is it's going to be mostly cosmetic and housing related, because you're able to equip your house. It's a whole other system in World of Warcraft that is like
Strap it.
wildly robust. I've been watching stuff on it, and I'll get back to that here in a second. But yeah, it's supposed to reward cosmetics, mounts, titles, and housing systems. It also means that the levels are going to grow with you. So as you gain more power with more gear, you're going to be able to leverage the difficulty modes of the Prey system, so you can get better stuff for as far as like mounts, housing, and collectibles go. So it gives you a little bit more reason to be out in the open world. So the Azeroth feels a little bit more populated.
PvP or PvE? This Prey stuff.
It's PvE. And in the harder difficulties, there's actually going to be like random events where like a super strong boss will show up, and you've got to fight it, and you've got to take it down. If you do manage to take it down, and it could show up any time. You might be in the middle of a giant
like
pull
a
for a quest or whatever.
Spawn,
but it's essentially an out in the world boss that you've got to fight solo. And even in the most challenging difficulty, Nightmare, they close off the area around you, so they put an arena that you can't escape around you when you fight this boss, so you can't run from these fights. So they are supposed to be pretty difficult, from what I'm understanding. At least the preview of the system ranks them pretty difficult, and I think that's really cool, just to be able to raise the difficulty and get more more collectibles out while you're out in the world. Maybe even just doing your dailies or whatever, and being able to fight that boss and pick up a mount. So I think that's super cool. It comes with 4 new delves. Eversong Woods, it has the Perelian Plaza. Sorry, it's not 4 new delves. It's a bunch of new delves. It's 7. It's Perelian Plaza, Collapsed Catacomb, and Shadow Enclave. Then Herands has the Den of Echoes. And then Voidstorm has the Shadowguard Redoubt, Sunkiller Sanctum, and Torment's Rise, featuring the Delve Nemesis boss. I don't know the details on that yet. That's just information that's been put out in the ether. So yeah, it's there's a bunch of new delves. Delves, if you're not familiar, most of you are going to be, but they're like mini dungeons that you can experience by yourself or as a group. They were wildly popular in the War Within, so they're definitely continuing on the delves, making sure that solo players have content that can get them at least some of the gear that comes in endgame raid content, which is pretty nice, or at least equivalents. New dungeons. There are 8 new dungeons at launch. It's been a long time since we've seen a number that big at launch. There's going to be 3 in Eversong Woods, 2 in Zul'Aman, 1 in Herands, and 2 in the Voidstorm. There's also a new raid structure. They wanted to put out multiple raids again during this raid tier. There's going to be the Void Spire. It's a 6 boss raid in Voidstorm. There's going to be the Dream Rift. It's a single boss raid. I'm kind of excited for those to come back if that's going to be a shift. I do like the single boss or the 2 boss or like the 2 encounter raids, because usually they're supplemental raids. They're usually a little bit less difficult, less mechanics heavy, and just allow you to have additional raid content for during the week for the hardcore players. And then they also usually act as kind of an entry level raid for people that aren't in big guilds and stuff like that. So I do like those. And a lot of times they used to come with PvP items as well. I'd be interested to see if they drop PvP loot. Then there's the March on Keldonil. It's a 2-boss raid with major story spoilers is what's said. So, yeah. There's the new allied race, the Heraneer. They're plant-like. They basically kind of look like orcs with plant growths on them. They're going to be available to both the Horde and the Alliance.
Man, you're gonna make a plant race and then make them look like a race you already got.
That's what they do with the allied races.
Oh.
I don't know if you know this. There are so many races in World of Warcraft now. Like there's like
sure
5-6 dwarf races. Yeah. So yeah, there's quite a selection, and they've been coming out with a couple new each expansion now.
Gotta keep it fresh.
I mean, yeah, some of them are really cool. Like Void Elves, they might just kind of be reskins, but they also do have their own racial abilities and stuff like that, which makes them unique. The Heraneer are going to be able to be warriors, hunters, rogues, priests, shamans, mages, warlocks, monks, and druids with unique druid forms. They're unlocked by completing the story campaign for Midnight. There's also a new Demon Hunter specialization. Demon Hunters have only had 2 specializations, Havoc and whatever the other one is that I don't care about. Yeah, so they've actually got a 3rd one now.
Bionicle.
It's interestingly interestingly enough, it's void related.
I mean, it makes sense as the theme of the.
It is the theme, but the whole thing with the Legion is they're there to destroy the void, and the whole thing with Demon Hunters is they leverage the power of the Legion. So it's kind of a weird one.
Turn into a corrupt cop.
It's definitely going to be for the emo
Turn
boys.
in your badge, Demon Hunter.
Definitely going to be for the emo boys because they're purple and
Wait,
black.
who are the Demon Hunters for in the first place?
The Illidan lovers.
Oh, yeah, it's edgelords.
Yeah,
is
the
primary,
edgelords, yeah, those
and
are the
then
ones.
underneath it is the emo edgelords.
Yeah, I'll put them up on the screen here real quick. They are they're something.
I was like,
yeah.
oof, that's
There's
World
something.
of Warcraft.
That's very World of Warcraft.
When I was a young boy.
Yeah, 100%. But what is nice is you are going to be able to play them as Void Elves. So that gives them 3 races now that they can be, because they are only available for elf races, because it's Illidan theme and whatever. Yeah. Aside from that, we have PvP updates. There's going to be a new epic battleground called Slayer's Rise. So it's going to be in the same queue as Alterac Valley and the larger scale raids. Raid style PvP battlegrounds. That one I'm not so excited about, but Comp Stomp is going to be permanent. They've changed the name. It's no longer called Comp Stomp, and they're renaming it Training Grounds. I think that's really cool. It's another entryway.
Can you give us some context?
I am. So it's battlegrounds, but you queue against NPC players.
Oh, computer stomp. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I like it. It's fun. It's kind of brain dead for people that really PvP. But for those that are looking for entry-level PvP content that will give you PvP rewards at a reasonable rate, it's not as fast as traditional PvP, but at a reasonable rate, I think it's pretty good. Especially if you're just coming back after missing a bunch of seasons and you need to get PvP geared where everybody else has been kept up. It's a great way to get caught up before jumping into some like real PvP if you're nervous about it. So it has its place, and I think it's cool. For one, I don't like PvP gatekeepers. There's too many of them, and that's why people don't do PvP. That's why your PvP is dying, guys, is because you're gatekeeping and you're assholes about it. So I don't know. Stop being assholes and let people play the game the way they want to, and just don't be so goddamn mean. For one, I'm happy it's there. Then there's player housing in neighborhoods. So not only are we getting player housing that you can decorate, that's going to give you buffs depending on the kinds of things that you put in it, et cetera, et cetera. There's also neighborhoods. So you get to decide who you're going to be living with and who your neighbors are going to be.
There's going to be HOAs in Warcraft.
There probably are, and they're all going to be on Moonguard.
They're all going to be on Moonguard.
Yeah. So there will be roleplay HOAs. 100% there will be, but I'm looking forward to it. I was really skeptical about player housing and how the engine would do it, but goddamn, it looks really well thought out. Like they have a whole snapping system, or you can just free edit. There's overhead editing, like Sim style, with like whole menus, like pop in, pop out menus. They really went all out on this housing system, and I'm glad they delayed until they were ready.
You don't want to put something out that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought it could look this good. I'm not only surprised that it looks as good as it does. It's genuinely good. So that will actually be coming out in the pre-patch before midnight launches. So we will get to preview that pretty darn soon. And then there's other updates that I'm not going to get too deep into. But Exile's Reach, Josh, when you jumped into World of Warcraft, you ended up doing Exile's Reach. That was your starting zone. Remember how it took you through and kind of just it gave you your abilities slowly over time. So there's a way for people to get into World of Warcraft now when they're just starting, or if they're coming back after some time. Is the game really has a good tutorial nowadays that ends in like a raid boss style encounter, so you can get a good understanding of dungeons and raids without being judged by other players, because it's NPCs that run with you. That's getting a rework because up until now, it's been dropping you in Battle for Azeroth, which is now 5 expansions back. Now they're going to be dropping you into Dragonflight, which is much more current, and the story of Exile's Reach is going to be current for Dragonflight. So it's not going to be as jarring going from one expansion's content directly into another one. Because coming into World of Warcraft right now, this second, before these updates, is rough.
Yeah.
It just is. There's 20 years of content that they're trying to sum up really quickly. This is just going to be doing a little bit better job of that. There's Dragonflight Story Mode, so it gives you the raids, the Vault of the Incarnates, Aberrus, and Amirdrasil, and you'll receive story mode versions for leveling players. So when you go out into Dragonflight, you get the option of doing it as it normally would be, or you can do it as it's meant to be now. So you're going to get all of the highlights of the expansion rather than getting through the first 2 zones and being of the appropriate level for the next expansion. So you'll get to experience the condensed content of Dragonflight. It looks like they'll be doing that for the War Within as well. That's my next point. Then there's also a returning player tour. It's an optional tour of Arathi Highlands guided by Jaina and Thrall to catch returning players up on the story as it is now. So if you haven't played the game in a while, you're going to get caught up because this 3 expansion saga is one thing. It will get you caught up on where World of Warcraft is at the moment and what led up to it. And then War Within story catch-up is a shortened quest experience to quickly get players up to speed on the War Within story before starting midnight. So again, just like Dragonflight, you'll jump in, you'll get the cliff notes, you'll get the most important story beats, the most important quests, the most important dungeons. So you have a good understanding of where you're jumping into when midnight launches. And most of that content should be out in the pre-patch. And that is all for now. So, World of Warcraft nerds, we're feasting.